With Zulrah being completed, we are only 3 or 4 best in slot items away from taking on Chambers of Xerix fully geared. But until then, I will have to continue leeching, and I've gotten a lot of questions about how I leech and how I get my points, so this video is going to explain exactly how I do it and how to maximize the points. So welcome to the Chambers of Xerix leech method. Now the first thing I want to note is that you have to have a minimum of 1000 points in order to get a drop, and there are 6 main ways you can get points, and those are from scavengers, from the chest, from potions, puzzle rooms, bats and fish, and finally the shortcuts. Scavengers are a pretty big part of the leech method because of their drops. When killing scavengers, you're going to want to pick up the stinkhorn mushrooms, Sicily, and endarkened juice for your potions, as well as the planks to make the chest. I strongly recommend using a Ring of Wealth or Ring of Wealth Imbued because although it does not double your loot at the end of the raid, it does work on scavengers, so it can help you get the secondary supplies for potions and the planks for the chest much quicker. In order to cap the points from your potions, you're going to want to have 6 of each secondary, but you're also going to get a lot more than that trying to get the 6 planks to build the chest. On top of them dropping the supplies that you need to get points in other areas, they also grant 6 points per kill, and I've capped it at about 100 kills, so technically in theory you can get over 600 points from scavengers alone. But I do not recommend staying there that long because you'll be wasting a lot of time. Normally after I've gotten 2 planks, I immediately go build the chest in case my team needs it, and then continue killing scavengers for the other 4 planks to upgrade the chest. When you're building the chest, you want to make sure that you're doing it one by one. You want to build the small chest, then you want to upgrade it to a medium, then you want to upgrade it to a large. Doing this will net you the maximum amount of points possible. Each time you build or upgrade a chest, you get 112 points per action. So if you do it one by one, you'll end up with a net of 336 points, whereas if you went from no chest to a large chest, you'll only get 112. Now we're going to be looking at potions, which is where a big chunk of my points comes from. It also depends slightly on the layout of the raid and how far my team is in the raid. In order to make the potions, you're going to need the herbs, and there's a couple ways to get the seeds. Depending on the layout of your raid, if you have a Guardian or Skeletal Mystic's room and it's been completed, you can run to it and pick up the Buchu and Gulpar seeds. If you don't have that option and your team has completed the first floor, you can run to the end of the floor and rake the weeds to get the seeds. Once you've gotten and planted both of the seeds, you're going to want to pick 9 of each. This will allow you to make 3 of each potion. Once you're done making your potions, you can put the rest of your secondaries into the shared chest for your teammates. If I can get potion making done really early on in the raid, what I like to do is take the Elder potions and the Prayer Enhanced potions and go to scavengers and continue to kill them. Every time my melee stats drop by 1 point, I drink another Elder potion to gain the points. Also, with Prayer Enhances, it allows me to use Melee Protect and Turmoil to maximize DPS. Once I've reached a point where I'm no longer gaining any points from my Elder potions, I'll stop killing scavengers and go drink the rest of my potions. In order to gain points from the potions, I have to drink them dose by dose of a different potion each time. So the order I have to drink them in is Xeric Aid, then Revitalization, and then I can interchange Twisted and Kodai. To maximize the points, I repeat that cycle until I have drank 10 doses of each potion, and that's equivalent to 2.5 vials of each one. When adding up all of the points from the Xeric Aids, Revitalization, Twisteds, Kodais, and Elders, it lands at about 4,000 points, which is normally about half of the points I get per raid. I'm not counting points from the Prayer Enhances because those ones depend on how quickly you can get the potions and how long your raid lasts, so there's really not a good average to give. So now we're going to be looking at the puzzle rooms, and the first one we're going to be looking at is the actually most beneficial one, which is the Thieving Room. This room was actually recently updated to give more points per grub. I think before the update it gave somewhere around 30, and now it gives 50. So What I did as a test was I did 40 grubs. Normally I could probably get like 30 to 35, and from that 40 I got 2,000 points, which is a huge amount. The next puzzle room we're going to be looking at is the Ice Demon room. Now this one I don't fight in, I just cut the trees and light them. I get usually an inventory in. I might be able to grab some off the ground if people drop them. Hopefully some people don't mind that, but I usually get about 500 points or so from this room. Alright, so the final puzzle room that we're going to be looking at is the tightrope puzzle. Normally what you want to do is wait for the Deathly Majors to die, wait for the Deathly Rangers to die, cross the tightrope, pick up the Keystone Crystal, come back over the rope, and then dispel of the barrier. Now because I'm in here by myself, and obviously I can't kill them, and this is just a test, I'm going to teleport over, I'm going to grab the Keystone, teleport back, and dispel of the barrier, and I'm going to show you how many points I usually get for this room. I get 400. Now this only works if people actually let me cross and get the crystal. Sometimes people don't, but if they do, that's an extra 400 points. Now we're going to be looking at the bats and fish, which are another pretty big part of my points. With each prep room, there's a chance that it's either going to be a hunter or a fishing room. It seems that the hunter room is more common, which is better because that allows for more points. The reason behind that is for hunter, you get points for catching and eating the bats, but for fishing, you only get points for eating the fish. Because I want to showcase maximizing points in an ideal situation, we're only going to focus on hunter. Each raid has 2 prep rooms, 1 per floor, and if the prep room is a hunter room, you will find 2 bats in it. Now in my experience, I've never seen 2 of the same kind of bat in 1 room. So that means that you will either have a potential of 2 bats throughout the entire raid to get your points from, or 4 different type of bats to get your raid points from. Now let's find out the maximum points you can get from catching the bats. Each bat has a number next to its name, which represents its tier. And if you multiply that number by 10, that's how many points you will get from that bat. However, after you've caught 5 bats, that number drops in half. So I've made a chart that shows the maximum amount of points that you can obtain from catching each tier of bats. As you can see in the chart, I added an 11 plus bats column, and they're all zeros. Now that means after you catch 10 bats, you are no longer gaining any more points. But the reason why I added that was because I wanted to mention that catching the bats caps at 10, but eating the bats caps at 20. Now that we've caught 20 of every bat in the raid, we're going to light the kindling that we cut from the tree, and we're going to start cooking our bats. Now that we have all of our bats cooked, let's look at the method that's needed to gain points from eating them. Similar to potions, in order to gain the points, their intended effect has to work, so the bats have to heal you. So in order to lower my HP, I use the Dwarven Rock Cake every time I eat a bat. That will drop my HP, and then I eat a bat to regain HP and points. Now let's look at the chart to see the maximum amount of points you can get from eating the bats. This also applies to fish as well. So as you can see from the chart, the points work in a similar way as they do when catching them. Once you've reached a certain point, the points gained from eating them are cut in half. However, because the points are capped after you've eaten 20, the points are cut in half after you've eaten 10 instead of 5. Essentially, eating the food grants twice as many points as catching it does. In theory, if the raid contains the 4 highest types of bats, there is potential for a massive amount of points. We're going to be looking at the shortcuts really quick. There are 3 different types. There's the mining one and the woodcutting one, and I believe these 2 scale with the amount of people that are in your raid. It does seem the more people in your raid, the longer it takes. These can usually give about, I think, 700 points if fully completed. And then there's also the boulder, which gives, I think, 500 or 600 points. But this one you have to be there with everybody, because if you're not there, then people are going to push it and you're going to miss out on those points. That's it. We've gone through every aspect of gaining points with my leech method, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. These videos are now taking longer to make simply because there's not as much progress as there used to be now that I'm getting very close to fully geared raids. So to counteract that, I've been live streaming recently, and I will continue to live stream now that we are in such almost like an endgame state of my account. And here's a live stream teaser for the next video. 17 kill count?
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Fucking get that and get the fuck out of here!